A scathing critique. Senator John McCain is blasting President Obama for last night's State of the Union address. Senator McCain says the president is wrong, and not just about one thing. Earlier tonight, we spoke with Senator McCain about the president's speech and his trip to McCain's home state of Arizona. Senator, nice to see you, sir.
Thank you.
The president is visiting your state, and you have been quoted as saying that he should stop at the Arizona-Mexico border while he's on his taxpayer-funded campaign stop. Do you care to expand?
The president has never been to the Arizona-Mexico border. I think he has been once to El Paso, Texas. There is still a huge influx of drugs into our country through or from Mexico. There is incredible violence. Some 40,000 Mexicans have been killed in the last 6 years. And I think it would be nice if he could take a very short trip from Phoenix, where he is, and go down and see the border. Find out, talk to the Border Patrol, find out why it is that one of our Border Patrolmen was killed by a gun that was in this fast and furious purchase of guns that ended up in the hands of cartel members in Mexico. Might be nice for him to see the border.
Governor Brewer, your state's governor, has asked for that. Even Gabrielle Gifford, the congresswoman, has been very eager to have things done down along the border. Why do you think he won't go to the border?
I don't know why he won't go to the border, but there is one of the situations we have there is that we have cartel members on mountaintops in Arizona, where as the drug cartels go up north into Phoenix, and they are on mountaintops, and they guide them and warn them about where the Border Patrol is. The drugs get to Phoenix and they are distributed all over America. So when we talk about the issue of immigration, I think it's important we do, but I think it's also, you can't really have a rational conversation about it unless you talk about the billions of dollars of drugs that are coming into our country, the corruption that it breeds, and the problems in Mexico, which are a direct result of the drug trafficking.
If some young person missed last night's State of the Union and said to you, hey, how was it? What happened? What would you say?
I'd say it should have been called State of the Campaign. Clearly, it was a very partisan campaign speech.
Are they ever other than that?
I think there's degrees of it. I think this was probably the most partisan that I've seen. Some of it, I just had to kind of smile. Otherwise, I would have gotten a little angry. For example, he immediately talked about Iraq. Iraq is spiraling out of control because we didn't leave a residual force there that we needed of some 20,000 American troops.
He's saying that it's a great thing. The troops are out. He seems to suggest things are going well. Are you two talking about a different country?
We must be talking about different countries because things are very serious in Iraq. The violence has escalated dramatically there. The vice president is hiding out in Kurdistan, and an arrest warrant from the president, from the prime minister, Maliki. Things are very serious there, as we predicted they would be. But President Obama made a campaign promise that he'd get everybody out of Iraq. I'm very worried. In the case of Afghanistan, again, he's pulling the troops out early against the recommendations of the military that he provided, and it poses a much greater risk as to whether we can succeed or not. Last night he said, anybody who says that it's not perceived that the United States is weakening throughout the world doesn't know what they're talking about. Well, I can assure you, I have talked to many leaders around the world, especially in the Middle East, that believe that the United States is withdrawing and is weakening.
Are you saying that he doesn't know what he's talking about then?
I'm saying that he must be talking to very different people than I do. I talk to the leaders in these Middle Eastern countries, and I talk to them around the world. And leading from behind is not what they admire.
Well, somebody's very wrong because there are two very different views of the world. In fact, he said last night as well that the Americans, I don't want to mischaracterize it, but something to the effect that we've grown to be bigger leaders with a lot more of Americans in the world since he's become president. You smile.
Well, he also said that America would stand up for human rights and freedom throughout the world. in 2009, there was a flawed election in Iran. People rose up, 1.5 million of them. They were chanting in the streets, "Obama, Obama, are you with us or are you with them?" He refused to give them a single word of encouragement.
Was that ideology? Was that inexperience?
It was the naive assumption that he, like he said, that he could negotiate with the Iranians. And by the way, he was talking about also the effect of sanctions, and they have been harmful to the Iranians and made life more difficult from them. But it has not swayed them from the path that they're on of developing nuclear weapons.
You know, and watching the State of the Union, you see the Democrats, because it's their president, up applauding. You see the Republicans sitting there, and I'm thinking to myself, you know, is the State of the Union, is it really have any, you know, real function in terms of for Americans? I mean, is it really theater in the end?
I think the first thing we should do, and I've always advocated this, is why don't we agree, Republicans and Democrats, to remain seated. Applaud politely if you want to, but what's the point in, like Jack in the Box, jumping up and down? There's no point in it, and it lengthens the speech. The speech lasted well over an hour last night. We know what the attention span of the average American viewer is, but I think it would be much more effective if the president, any president, were able to just deliver his speech rather than have all these interruptions that go on. But I sat with Senator Hagan from North Carolina, and she would jump up and I would have to get out. It is what it is.
Thank you, sir. Nice to see you.
Thanks.